Abbotsford to be exact. I don't think I've visited West Yorkshire, although I have been to the UK a few times. Ali and Ava is the movie. It is M-rated and it runs for 94 minutes. Naturalistic performances, they're the hallmarks of what is a gritty working-class story which is born of pain. Ali is played by Adil Akhtar. He's a British-Pakistani landlord, enjoying a strong relationship with his tenants. He also loves his music with a heavier edge, to which he likes to gyrate. So after a tragedy in their lives, Ali and his Bangladeshi wife have fallen out, but he hasn't told his family that they've separated. They still live under the same roof, albeit temporarily, but no longer share a bedroom. Irish-born Ava, played by Claire Rushbrook, has also had a hard time of things. A grandmother and also a mother of 5, her former husband passed away less than a year ago, but they were separated because he treated her shamefully. She now works as a teacher's aide, a job that she enjoys. A chance encounter in pouring rain sees Ali and Ava connect. Both of them are lonely. A friendship forms. Music is the starting point. She likes country and folk, which he can't fathom. And then, after the friendship, something more. But there are considerable problems ahead, as their liaison is not countenanced. Foremost is his disdain, or in his disdain, is her son Callum, whose wife has just had their first child, a girl. Callum's father's passing affected him deeply. Mind you, he doesn't know the full story. He will not entertain his mother being in a relationship with Ali. So Cleo Barnard has crafted this story. Slow burn, but ultimately affecting. It took a long time to take off. The reveals are drip-fed. So it did take some time to engage me. Mind you, once it did, more than a half an hour in, I was keen to go along for the ride. What about you, Dave?
Absolutely loved it. I thought this was a fantastic film. One of my biggest criticisms of romantic dramas and romantic comedies normally is that they're so unbelievable. They're not situations that everyday people will find themselves in. Whereas this film, I thought it was so natural. The story was natural. The dialogue was natural. It felt like I was literally watching a couple fall in love with each other. I love the musical aspect to it as well, because whether we like to admit it or not, music does play a big part in a lot of people's lives, and sometimes your choice of partner doesn't like the same kind of music as you, and it can kind of cause issues in the relationship. But I just thought this was a stunning film. I thought it was beautifully written, brilliantly performed, and I just fell in love with it from about half an hour in. I was totally engrossed and I was in love with it.
Did you not find it took a while to take hold of you?
Not really, because I thought it was a great use of setting up the characters. There's a lot of questions there about characters, especially about Ali and his life. I'll admit early on I was kind of thinking, did he have illegitimate children with other people, until that was explained. But apart from that, no, I really got into this film really early on.
What about the accents? Because I got to say, apart from the narrative arc being slow to grip me, I frequently struggle to understand the accents.
No, I've got a lot of UK friends and relatives, so no, they don't worry me at all.
Have you seen this one, Greg?
I have indeed.
So give me your thoughts about the start and whether you also had problems with the language.
I did find sometimes the accents were a little bit thick, and there were a couple of scenes where probably I could have used subtitles there. But this is a bit of a bleak, realistic, grim kitchen sink drama that will appeal to those who appreciate the films of Ken Loach or early Mike Leigh there.
Yeah, that's what I thought of too, Greg.
But it's unlikely to have broader appeal there. Like Dave, there's some good things about the film. I thought it captured that grim urban environment of Bradford quite well there, giving it a bit of a bleak look there. And it's dealing with that cycle of poverty, domestic violence, race and class that are some key issues in contemporary Britain there. I thought the performances were quite good there. Claire Rushbrook was good as Ava there, and Adil Akhtar was good as Ali there. The two had apparently appeared opposite each other in Enola Holmes there, which accounts for their easygoing rapport here there. But I just found I couldn't really connect with the characters or the film at all. It left me at a bit of a distance. I agree with Dave that the music was fantastic there, but there have been other films exploring odd couple, unlikely character relationships there that have been much more compelling and engaging than this one.
I also found the scenes were often too dark. I desperately wanted the lighting to be turned up. Did that strike you as well, Greg?
Yeah, a little bit bleak, but that captures that serves that bleak environment they're living in there. And the cinematography from a guy called Ollie Bratt Birkenland, I thought captured that environment quite well. But yeah, it was grimly shot, but often that use of natural lighting helps set the mood. Well,
Peter, the film was really good at establishing the respective characters' decidedly different lifestyles, also the impediments that each faced. I thought the leads were superb. This is the sort of film that I think you'll really enjoy too.
I certainly enjoyed it very much. It's nice to see a resurgence in British independent cinema, looking at realistic sorts of stories, especially romantic dramas like this one. And what was so impressive about this film is the careful development of character by the director, Cleo Barnard, and how this interracial romance is presented in a very naturalistic sort of way, and also the older son, who could have been presented as a typical neo-Nazi type character, was not presented necessarily like that at all. I really enjoyed it in terms of character development, in terms of story, in terms of perhaps showing us what Britain today is like in terms of post-epidemic racial sorts sorts of issues, etc.
But so I don't know whether, I mean, when was this set? I'm not sure that it was set now.
It's difficult to say the time period.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, it's not post-pandemic, that's for sure. Because I mean, this was part of the British Film Festival last year or the year before, or I'm not sure when we last saw the British Film Festival.
Yeah, last year.
Last year, yeah. Did you have any problems that I've spoken about with regards to the accents, with regards to the shooting, the lighting, etc., and also the start in terms of the slow start?
Not at all. I felt the slow start was important to develop character. I thought the lighting was naturalistic to give it that realistic feel. No, overall, I was quite impressed by the way the story developed.
No question, Adil Akhtar has got this infectious personality, this bundle of energy inhabiting the character of Ali. He's a good guy who try as he has, can't salvage his marriage. And then you got Claire Rushbrook readily channeling. Well, I mean, you'd understand that cautiousness, right? I mean, it's indicative of Ava, given the backstory that we've already alluded to. And Ava's suffered in silence for the sake of her children, let's be honest. Part of the cleverness and also the power of this movie is in Cleo Barnard's ability to ensure, through her writing and also her direction, that we're actually, what's the expression the Americans use, rooting for this pair, correct? I mean, that's regardless of what we know will become, well, serious obstacles to try to overcome. So the patience and virtue in both Akhtar and Rushbrook's performances sheet home the writing instructions that Cleo Barnard has given. Neither of these actors misses a beat, and I thought that was the real strength of this movie. And ultimately it becomes a very rewarding experience. To me, though, you need to stick with it, because I know that the others of you, well, two of you have dismissed the start, but I reckon some are going to struggle. So if you stick with it, you're going to get a lot out of it. It's not going to appeal to everybody, but it will to serious cinephiles. And one thing, I should mention Jackie's comments, because I mentioned at the start that unfortunately she can't be with us. She basically said she liked the observational approach, the issues with her son, the son Callum that we referred to, but ultimately she said she found the relationship unconvincing, which is not something that any of us observed. So, yeah, there you go. A difference of opinion. So let's start with Greg. It sounds like you're going to get the low score here, so tell me, what do you reckon?
As I said, I found it hard to engage with the characters and everything. I'm going to give it 5 out of 10.
Really? Wow, fair pass. Okay, so that's Ali and Ava, and it's a 5 out of 10 for Greg. I'll go tallest to shortest here. So the next score will come from Jackie, who gives it a 6.5 out of 10. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Peter.
The accents didn't worry me at all. I'm getting so used to hearing those different accents. I really like the film, 8 out of 10.
Okay, and let's wait for you, Dave. You really enjoyed it, so I'm presuming that you'll be the high mark here. Whether you'll be 8 or higher, you're about to tell us.
Yeah, look, I love how natural the film was. I'm giving it 9 out of 10.
Oh, my golly. So, hang on, how many films are better than that you've seen this year? Very few.
Yeah, very, very few, and I think the only ones that have been better than that I've seen have been documentaries, so, yeah, yep.
Wow. Okay, so this is leading the pack as far as your films of the year other than docos.
Yep.
Is that what you're telling us?
Except for Glass House, which actually came out last year, but it's been re-released this year, which I gave 5 out of 5 to last year. So yeah.
I have no knowledge. What's Glass House? Just very, very briefly.
It